Hello. Sorry about that. The cord was missing again. For Kip walks off with it and plugs it into other things. I couldn't figure out where the heck it was. Um. um. All right. So some decent movement in the yen. Um. It's funny. The statement that was made yesterday, we saw that big spike down, and then the news came out, and it was kind of like wah, wah, wah. It was not really as strong as what you would expect. Um. you know uh, it seems like okay, there was going to be change coming. We got to start combating this. We're going to do something different. Everybody was hyped up about it. The market reacted to it, and then all of a sudden when they came out last night, it was kind of like you know want nothing. It was weird. It was like um all right. So as far as movers go, it's only the yen. Everything else is more or less stabilized. You can see the Aussie dollar down about 41 percentage wise. It's not horrible, not the worst, but 40 35 is it's a little bit. 48, not bad with the dollar cab. Euro pound, three. Right, the 121 and 146 are the two biggest one. Um, yeah. So this is what we got. The press conference, like really nothing. They just said that they were going to debate it in the future, and I think the market was really expecting something much higher than we'll debate it. So it's kind of like yeah, not what you want. European data. Okay. For the most part, the 2.9 on the yearly versus the 3.1. Um, Not as big as what you would as miss as what you would expect. I mean, the core number, which again is always going to be the most important, came in exactly as expected at the 4.2. So the market already adjusted for that one, so it didn't really get movement up or down. CAD GDP came in a monthly basis lower. It didn't actually move up at all. It was supposed to go up a little bit. And that's why we're seeing a little bit of CAD weakness coming in. Employment costs in the U.S. You know, 1.1 is technically higher than what the expectation was. You can see that the composite HPI also higher than expected, but not like it's not like it came in at 1.5, right? Came in at zero point 0.1 and zero point 0.4 respectively higher. So, we'll see. In a few minutes, we're gonna get the Chicago PMI number, which again, it's not an earth-shattering number, but unusually, but it does kind of add into things. And then, bam, right after that, we got consumer confidence, which is a little bit more important. So, a lot of stuff US wise right now, and we'll see where the dollar goes with it. Um, Besides that, again, ECB rate cuts would need dramatic turnaround in economies, and again, I don't think we're at that stage with the rate cuts yet. I don't think that kicks into next year. BOJ and China PMI disappoint. We got that in there. Um, yeah. So again, policy meeting held. Yeah. We need further to increase flexibility and conduct the yield curve control. It's like it's not what the market was looking for, right? FX could affect policy if it impacts price outlook. So there's some big statements there, but it was such like I don't know. I feel like with the post yesterday, um, the market was like, "That's it." Um, yeah, yeah. It was disappointing. I thought we were gonna get more, and again, not like all of a sudden, that this was the yen would be on the opposite end of the carry trade, but yeah, yeah. So looking for just a little bit more there. And it didn't come in. So that's going to be a big one. New Zealand tonight. Obviously, the employment rate, employment change, also big numbers as well. And then we'll see. And again, actually, this is a decent Chinese PMI number as well. So we'll see. Again, above 50, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. So after we get everything today, tomorrow morning we have the ADP. Again, Wednesday. The candy hangover, right? We have our ADP non-farm number, and again, last time 89 coming in at 149. That's is a decent change. We'll see if that one comes in as effect. And again, if that one comes in higher, say that one is like I don't know 180. Again, it kind of goes back onto that side. It's another log on the fire of maybe we should raise Fed funds. And again, the market's pretty sure that they're not going to do anything. That it's just going to come in as so. They're expecting no change, but they're expecting them to say, yeah, but you know what? We still may raise it one more time. So don't assume that we are done. Is kind of what the general consensus is. And then right when we get started, we have ISM manufacturing, we have Jolts, which I think Jolts is in the next 24 hours. Jolts is the most important thing on the board. Again, the labor market has been so strong. I mean, obviously the ADP non-farm employment change is important. It's not the end all be all number, but the labor market again, if we see more people hired back and job openings staying really really high like that, or not, dropping by as much as they did, and maybe even ISM manufacturing prices. I mean, again, that's an increase over before, showing that there's an increase. I mean, more jobs, high jolts, and increase in manufacturing prices. Um, I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Fed's like, hey, we're not raising this time, but we're probably going to raise next time. Just so y'all know, because again, they like to telegraph things ahead of time so the market can adjust correctly. So, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of where we're at in this whole thing right now. Yeah, it's there. A lot going on the next 24 hours. Big releases, big releases. Um, as far as where we are, let's see. I'm going to go up here. VIX wise, VIX deteriorating, right? And we mentioned this yesterday, right? We said yesterday, kind of all the news was out. We expected the VIX to deteriorate to the downside. And yesterday, so much chop. It was up big, and then they slammed everybody down and took them out. And they're like, "Oh, you want to short?" And then when they all shorted, then it went up, and everything ended up pretty decent. But you see that the VIX really wasn't, VIX got to push back down again. Again, we're in an area where we've seen basing, right around that 19 mark, but it's, again, not a warehouse full of VIX, There's no expiration date on VIX. Dollar index, you're seeing the dollar. We had a decent push, and you can see it came down to where this other level was, hit it a few times, base in there, dropped back down, try to find this lower level, kind of rallied back up again, and then 1 o'clock this morning, boom, a big push down in that 5:30 time frame, that reversal time frame, right back up again. So we're still kind of sitting. Yesterday we were sitting kind of right here, so we're a little bit above where we were yesterday. Um, eh, it's like what is the trend right now? It's kind of big up, big down, big up, big down, and we're still on the upper end of the curve here. We can remove a lot of these now. We got the bounces like we wanted. That line is out. Again, if we kind of look at this here, what do we got? 106.90, 533. I mean, there's some stuff up here. I mean, there could be a confirmed zone coming in right there. We're at a kind of a confirmed zone right now. Um, yeah. Problem is, there's just so much unknown in the next little bit here, right? The consumer confidence thing is going to really make a big difference. If this consumer confidence number is high, I think the dollar surges up, and I think we probably get up to this 106.70. We grab it and then potentially turn and flip. If it comes in lower than expected, maybe it starts to roll back quicker. I mean, again, remember, the consumer is really what has been driving everything. People are still spending money like no problem. Again, it's the American way, right? Stack up your credit cards, put as much as you possibly can on it. That's how that's how we roll. Um, the confidence though matters, right? Um, so at the end of the day, that's going to be a big kind of hit on this one. Now it is rallying up before that news, so again, we tend to see, a big push up. But the problem is today, it's been like boom, 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 boom. Obviously this has been spiking the dollar right here at the 830 number. This one kind of helped it as well. But if this PMI is bad and the consumer confidence is bad, we push right back down, and we're sitting back down here at 106. Um, we're trying to. It's a Today is like the crazy day. We're trying to figure out if my mom's good enough, because we typically go trick or treating in my mom's neighborhood, because obviously she's still recovering. But she's like, it's fine. It's like, well, do we really? I mean, we're trying to coordinate that one. And the two, Asher and Jin, both have a 2 hour early delay today, or early dismissal today. Reese has to go the full thing because he's in private school. So it's like we're so many moving pieces today. Yeah. And of course, they're like, oh, you're on a webinar? I'm going to shoot you all these messages right now. Everybody was too busy earlier. All right. So that's what I think we're looking at. Indices right now, Kind of mixed. You have one, ES is down just a smidge. You have Russell up just a smidge, looking like it wants to turn a little bit more negative. And again, negative sentiment is, they're saying the negative sentiment is coming because the dollar is spiking, because the data thus far, the costs and things, I would never see that going higher. It's there. Now, it's interesting because if you look at what the data is thus far, we talk about the composite, the employment, employment cost index and things like that. We're seeing it more over an NQ than anything else. NQ is considered the weakest right now. And all we got to do right now is if we get some good data and we see another surge up, everything should turn into the red. But overall, I wouldn't be surprised if they level out a little bit. Again, the consumer confidence, the big one. It's a hard one to get a gauge on, right? There you go. The PMI was a little bit lower. So there we go. So now we're starting to play that counterbalance, right? We had the stuff that was good. Now we're seeing, oh, you know what? It wasn't as bad as what we thought. That's good for that's weak for the dollar. And we should see them level out just a little bit. The Russell's actually starting to increase just a little. So we'll see. The consumer confidence is going to be the big one. Is the consumer going to continue to spend? And we'll get that in a little bit. Now, crude's it's blazing right now, right? It's minus 0.01. Oh, there we go. 0.05. We're trying. And natural gas up 4%. Whew. And maybe that's because it's a little bit colder outside and people are like, oh man, it's going to get cold. All right, my Windows is drunk. It says freeze watch. What? Hold on. What is this? Freeze watch? You guys see that one or not? Let's see. How do I have a freeze watch? November 2nd? What? Oh, wow. It says freeze watch in effect from late Wednesday night through Thursday morning. Sub-freezing temperatures between 26 and 36 degrees. What? Central, Northeast, Northwest, and Maryland, District of Columbia, and Virginia. What? It was 77 3 days ago. And now we got a freeze watch coming in. So in less than a week. So yeah, Mother Nature drunk again. So yeah, that's probably what's leading to this one, that there's going to be a Northeast freeze watch coming in. I guess there's a cold front. Again, I guess it's November, but like really, it was 77 degrees. Kids are wearing shorts and things like that on Friday and Saturday. So yeah, that's right. Anyway, again, that will be temporary. We should see that kind of push back down again, probably some sales there. You can see gold sitting under that 2,000. We talked about that going into Wednesday. If that's able to kind of hold and maintain up near that 2,000 mark, that's really where we're looking for. You can see silver is sucked down closer to that 23 mark. It's 23.13. Yeah, it's 0.5% down. Nothing crazy, but again, it looks like it's all preparing for tomorrow. And again, even if we're just slightly above with gold, and again, we said 2,000 is going to be the big thing. It's sitting right there. We're playing with that 2,000 mark. It's where we expect to be up there. So, again, probably an inside day on this one as well, and probably not a lot of opportunity. All right, so here we go. So if we run fibs up and we look where there's, we talked about a potential here. We didn't spike back down again and ended up pushing through before going higher. You can see there was actually a confirmation off the top side of this one. We got the push here. It came up, and again, not like an official, like true Harry Potter, but it did one of these and then took off lower, right? Came right off of here, right? Came right off of there. And again, it kind of grabbed it this morning. The downside of this one, unfortunately, I hit it way too late, right? We were looking for it to really kind of pull back down and then get something during the day. It didn't, and we're still kind of in the same trajectory. It's a little bit lower. We're playing with the buyers down here. And again, this is dollar strength. For this one right now, I kind of wanted to just blow all this out, right? We have the step. I don't need this anymore. Let's take that off. That went higher. I deleted a lot of this yesterday. I wonder if I did that two-step the two-factor authentication, and I'm almost positive we deleted this yesterday and deleted that yesterday. And I wonder if when I did that, it like didn't save because it logged me out of this window. You guys ever do that before? Those of you that use TradingView? Like you don't touch it for a while, you come back and you get to close it down. And you're like, oh, if you close it now, your work will not be saved, even though it's been sitting there for like a long time. Right? I wonder if it didn't save that or something. I don't know. That's weird. I swear we deleted it yesterday. Anyway, with a push back down, we are playing with the 50 right now. There's obviously levels in here. I mean, you can see this whole area in here, and that's what we're kind of smashing into. With this data, if we get another week, kind of a red number here, we should see a bit of a reversal. But right now, this is purely news driven. So again, use a little bit of caution. Consumer confidence is actually a very important number with where we are right now and the problems that we are having. Again, the reason why, if the consumer is going to continue to spend, earnings are not going to be as bad as people forecast they are, and they'll be a surprise to the upside, right? Those are the two factors. Consumer confidence is really the biggest thing we have going for us right now with the stock market, because as long as consumer, and again, this has been the surprise forever, consumers are spending. Okay, now if that confidence goes below 100, and people are seeing that as yeah, things are getting worse, are getting worse, getting worse, getting worse. We should see this go higher. And what's crazy about this is, I mean, we are sitting here, but again, here, 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 we're hitting. This is like really the fourth time. Be cautious, but with a pushing down, I kind of almost wouldn't be surprised if it comes back up and we flatline. The crazy part about this consumer thing is, and it shows you that there's always a disconnect. You know, if you look currently right now at the administration, the biggest gripe that they have is the economy is crap, right? The economic rating is super, super low. I think it's like 30. I think the overall rating for the president is 37. But when asked about the economy, I think it goes down to like 21%. It's really, really low. Actually, on both sides, it's quite low. Um, as far as the economy. But yet people are still spending money. I don't know if it's because of COVID, we didn't spend for a long time, but that consumer confidence comes in, this should be a pretty decent pop, and I think there's a decent run off of it. Yeah, there's about 40 pips in there. You know, even the risk level right here is only 10 pips. So it's kind of a news trade. Understand this is always a hard one when you have boom, boom, boom. You know, every 15 minutes or 30 minutes we have another news release. It's hard. If there was no news that drove this down, this would be a great long trade. Why? Because when you see an hour and a half, hour beforehand, price moving right into a level, especially a confirm one with a backstop like a 50, you love it long, right? But right now, it's kind of like, yeah, we've already had this. This was not the market pre-positioning itself. This was the market's reaction to news. So it's the emotion down that drove it. It's not the manipulation down. So it is a little tiny bit different than what we normally see. But if it bounces off here, decent zone, 10 for 30. There's plenty of room. It's got 40 pips to run on the top side. Not a bad position. Overall, we're still basically in the same window. What are we different now? 40 pips total. So we were sitting. Yeah, we're sitting here where kind of the peak was, and it did. It rallied back down, or it pushed back to the downside yesterday. So Aussie yen, Aussie yen ended up doing the same thing. It took the big yen hit, and I said, "Hey, be cautious with this one," you know. And it did. It bounced around, and then when the data came out, or when the release came out last night, you could see nothing but weakness, and this was a huge weakness run. And again, this is a huge disappointment. 114 pips. It's got an 83 pip ATR on the daily. Huge disappointment, right? We were looking for kind of a break through the top side of this one, right? It ended up not even slowing down. It came up, it hit it, and I was like, "Yup." And then it based here, like, "Oh, it's gonna break," but it just never pulled back. Yeah, it was like, "Oh, come on, you can do it," and it went here and then went higher. Yeah, bud, ball. Another 70 pips passed. So I was looking for the pullback. I had an alert set, and yeah, yeah. I actually woke up. The alert went off. I woke up and I said it, and then I woke up and I was like, man, it never triggered. I saw where the price was. I was like, yeah. And then I realized that it never pulled back. So yeah, sometimes that happens too. Right? It does exactly what you do, but you're like waiting for the confirmation of it. And yeah, it never gave it to me. It just went all the way up. So yeah. Now at least though, we can, we can take some of this stuff off. You can pull this back if you want. Again, we can take this one off. I don't need two of them on there right now. Right now, again, we'll take this off. It's kind of more of a broken zone, but it did even pause. As I said, I was looking for the long. We talked about the long yesterday, and it just didn't pull back on us before. So it sucks when that happens. All right, so here's kind of what the top looks like. Right now, again, the yen is going to act as a proxy. If we're able to kind of get this back up again, I think it's probably an okay spot. If I extend this across, you can see we had it here. And if we push back again, you can see what are we looking at? The wall on the left. You can see where there's a little bit of a base in here. It's kind of around the 78. There's a level just sitting right above it, the 96.35, and this is a level we've had on for a while. So I mean, this is not a new level for you guys. What? Hold on, the voicemail messaged me. All right. Um, all right. So, um, I think big things again. We got 6 minutes to go. The yen will act as a proxy. The consumer confidence is gonna, probably jack the Dow around. So it is kind of one of those ones I kind of want to see. Um, I kind of want to see what we get here, right? Um, hmm. I don't even like any spikes. If we can get a spike in there, I don't even really like any of the spikes in there. But let's remove this one right now. We're gonna clean it off. It's not even a great zone. Look, here's the original kind of pullback and go, and it pushed all the way to the end. Ugh. Hard part on this one is that even a great one? Not really. Ugh. I feel like there's gonna be. I feel like these are the two that we're looking for. We hit number 3 on this zone. Hmm. By the way, uh, again, not a lot of great zones in here, but this is just to point out again. We talk about finding those reversal signals. We know that we had a level up here. We know we had a hit. We know we had a base. We're like, yeah, it's gonna probably break, right? And it did. It went slightly higher than the zone we had drawn. And we talk about looking for reversal. Here's a great example: red, green, right? Red, and then red finally closed here. And then after it finally got the confirmation of the retracement, and again, buyers were down here, it pushed another 30 pips past it, right? So again, that's why you're looking for these big pushes up and when you start seeing those reversals. And remember, 10:30 is number 1, 5:30 is number 2. It peaked at 5:30 in the morning, and then this was the red, the green, and then when the reds start here, right? It didn't actually hit till 8. But again, you can see that the 5:30 was the peak for the morning. So we'll see. Again, 4 minutes on this one. I think this one moves. I don't like any longs down here. They're probably can. I don't. And I'll just draw this. This is more. I don't like this one here, even though this was a base and it kind of is a little bit confirmed. It pushed it literally just a little tiny bit past. So for me, it's gone. There's also a level kind of sitting right here where we had a bit of a pullback, a rally base, and a pullback, and kind of testing. And you may say, well, look, it's confirmed there. But yeah, 1, 2, 3. This is hit number 4. Yeah, the 61 now has been added to that on the positive side, but it's still kind of a negative at that point. So yeah, and again, yeah, there's a level below it, but it's been breached. So yeah, it's a level and level, but both of them are very very poor levels. It's kind of like too bad, so I don't want to just throw it on there if it's all bad. Um, yeah, yeah, it's like ugh. So I think just be cautious with that one. Euro dollar. So euro dollar. Europeans took it straight up, and then at 5:30, it turned and went right back down again. So we were calling for down, and we did. It pushed back down again. We were looking for a little bit farther of a push down on this one before it kind of took off. And again, this data where it wanted to come in, obviously early morning. Actually, probably the BOJ press conferences probably would jack that one a little bit with Treasury. So both levels are breached. You can see that this one also kind of hiccup in there. And again, we were calling for a push down. Right now, 6 pips in 24 hours, but a lot of movement, right? We were talking about 80 up, 80 down, back and forth, and we're in the exact same spot. So the good thing about this one, I do like this one. Just like we drew it before, we got the red, green, red. We got a high, and the high is actually on the green candle, which we like. So you could actually draw kind of a zone there. How close are we to 10 on that one? 13, 14. We could actually shrink it just a little bit. We'll go into there. Not actually a bad spot. I like the formation of this one. We got the confirmation, and it paused, tried to come back, and then boom, the news really kind of jammed it to the downside. So I think this is a good level to look for going into the future. The 106.62. Where we are right now, it's kind of similar to what we saw in the other pairs. We're in an area where there is buying. It drove it up, and it drove it right back down again, and confidence coming in. Again, confidence above 100, I think this continues to fall. Confidence below 100, I think it retraces back up again. Of the data we had this morning, it's okay. Employment costs going higher, not what you want to see. But remember, retail sales, spending, it all starts with the consumer and if they're feeling good or not. If they're feeling good, it's great. If they're not feeling good, that's a hard one. Um, oh, great. Hezbollah is now using guided missiles. I'm glad that they have that. Lovely. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how this in 30 seconds how this number comes out. But as far as again, news up, news down, you can't really use this as stop. You can't really use this as market manipulation beforehand because unfortunately it was news driven. A little bit different, right? A little bit different. So we'll see where it goes. Overall, again, we're close. We're kind of. I guess we went up to the 78. So let's delete this real quick. Yeah, it's part of the 50, but It's not a very, very super clean. So if it does go up, you're like, yeah, there's buyers in there, but I don't know. Let's see what do we got here. 100.5 would make this interesting because the market would be prepared, and then the market would have to use the news from earlier. Okay, 102. So there you go. Overall, what does that tell us? The market expected the consumer was going to start, was going to start getting a little bit more concerned. They weren't going to be as confident in the overall economy. What does it show? Oh, and there was adjustment last time. So a double on that one. So overall, again, consumer was more confident than they were before. They were expected to be lower, and they came in, again, 2 points higher. Does that really tell us how much more they're going to spend? No, but it tells you that, hey, listen, again, the market was overly negative before. It was actually better than expected, or not as much of a drop, right? But again, a positive note and a positive note on both sides, right? So overall, good. That should lead us to break through some of these zones. Because overall, let's see, what is the Dixie doing? How's the Dixie taking that one? Yeah, Dixie's continuing to push. So yeah, Dixie's got some more room to run. I think with that data, I think we push up at least back up to here, right? The 106.70 mark. And as it should, right? Fed's going to look at this. These are all little tiny small pieces. The Fed looks at that and says, hey, look, the consumer is not concerned yet. The data is not showing we're going to recession. Inflation is still too high. Why would we hesitate? Right? Why would we hesitate? I know why. I definitely do know why. There's also some political pressure involved with that one. But yeah, so that should push up, right? It should push up. Where we at? We were sitting over here, right? So yeah, I think this probably comes down. Now, here's the other part of this one. From its peak this morning, we've gone 80 pips down. It's got a 71 pip daily ATR. Yes, it's spiked up. Yes, right now it looks like there's no movement. But the most recent drive is 1 day's worth of movement. So I wouldn't be surprised. Anybody that got short up top is going to be looking to take profit. It's going to happen here. These are the two potential areas, right? Profit taking here and probably profit taking right here. And the reason why is from low to high, the 61.8 is now enabled. You'll see algorithm trading coming in. Computer has gone up, 61.8, fib. Magical line, use the force. And again, it is a pullback, so there is actually a legitimate zone down there. So would not be surprised if we hit and we start to kind of bounce and maybe use that as our reversal point for the day. Euro pound, not much different. We were sitting right here yesterday. Let's see, 10 o'clock is right here. So we are, let's see, we just hit 10, so this should be easy to do. 10 is right here. It's that candle. So we are 2.4 pips away from where we were yesterday. We pushed down a little bit. We came back up. We pushed up a little bit. We came back down again, and we're still holding right in that same level. So, again, not enough of these factors here were big enough to really kind of change things around. Again, the flash data, not anything crazy different. So they weren't necessarily, anything earth-shattering. I still think it's high. I still think the euro. I don't think the euro ever gets up to like 5 where everybody else is. Well, the U.S. and like the U.K. So I like the UK side of this better. I think, again, euro pound wise, it's more of a short. Oh, just the technicals. Sterling edges higher versus dollar, jumps versus yen. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in moon to week European data for talks now. Yeah. Again, so this is a great point to bring up. See this right here? Euro immune to weak Eurozone data for now. Again, having that many components, right? All those countries out there, a lot more can go wrong. The other thing, was an interesting article I read this morning in regards to this Eurozone contagion. And again, why I like this one more to the short side when we can get the right signal for it. I guess Ukraine is losing tanks pretty fast. All the new ones, they're losing a majority of the new ones. And they have enough tanks to last a year. And I don't know how they know this, but they said that Russia plans to take this war in 2025. Basically saying that the Ukraine now is losing too many of the new Leopard tanks, the Leopard 2s. And the Leopard 1s have no armor. So they're getting old 1980s T-72 tanks and upgrading them or whatever. But like those are scattered throughout old, Soviet era countries or whatever. But yet right now, the Ukraine only has enough tanks for 1 more year. So if it goes to 2025, somebody else is going to have to give them more tanks because they're out of tanks and all the old tanks will be gone. So, yeah, I don't know if it's like a war of attrition. I don't know what the plan is, but they said that could be extremely taxing for the European Union. Countries are giving billions and billions and billions of dollars, but it's not sustainable and they can't keep doing it. Nor do they have the resources to do it. Because remember, taking an old tank and putting a new engine in it and some optics is not super expensive. Building a tank from the ground up, very expensive. Yeah, and they said they don't have the war chest for that. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Euro yen, nice pop. I expect this one to continue pushing down. You can see we're at 160, that magic number out there. It is an area, right? We knew that. And yesterday, again, we saw the nice drop yesterday down from a level. And funny enough, you can see there's the one, there's the two, there's the three, there's the basing before we even know there's a bunch here. You see the basing, it skyrocketed, didn't even slow down. This was the pullback level here. Remember in the Aussie yen, I was like, yeah, I was waiting for that pullback. This was the pullback level here. We expected this to break. We knew we had a Harry Potter past it. We were looking for a pullback, and it didn't. It just went. Now this one, monstrous move. I mean, talk about a big move, right? Talking about 270 something pips. It was actually too far. I actually ran over the top. But from yesterday's drop, we'll do it from yesterday's drop down. 285 pips. The pullback didn't happen. I was waiting for the pullback. It didn't happen. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think there was just a lot of disappointment in that number. So we can go on from there. Right there. So you can see it's 160. There are buyers there. Wouldn't be surprised if this one pushes back a little bit. Again, everybody was extremely disappointed with that number coming out of the euro. Really expected, or I'm sorry, out of the pound. Yen, sorry, yen. Japan. Really expected a lot more. You can see yen drops to 15 or low as euro versus BOJ's policy tweak. I think universally everybody assumed it would be a much better statement from them. Um, and it was, I think everybody was in agreement that it was time. And yeah, it just wasn't. So, this one very similar as well. There could be an argument made that there's a top in here. We had the red, green, red, same reversal pushing back down again. If you did get short, nice little profit target there to take yourself out on the one around the 23 and the, again 23, 160 and an area of buyers. Three reasons why, three strikes you're out, get yourself out. And you can see it's pulling back a little bit, some profit taking. So overall, I do think this one is pretty high. I think, again, when obviously the European weakness really rolls into the market, it should drop. But right now, BOJ has to do something to help again. It's just where it is. The statement they made was just not what the market expected. And it just, again, I think, again, I can't see their internal financials. I don't know what the heck they're thinking. But overall, I don't think that that was necessarily the right statement to make. The market, I don't think, agreed well. Pound dollar, again, it's going to look just like the euro dollar. All right. Again, we were punching through. We knew we had people. We hit it. We hit it again. We hit it again. We came through and we kind of used it on the other side, and then we peaked higher. This one actually peaked a little bit later. 5:30 was the green here, and it turned out that 7 o'clock was actually the peak before it rallied back down again. Overall, we're basically in the same spot. We're -6 pips from where we were yesterday. A little surge up, little surge down, but it's really pulling back into this really kind of the median area. And actually, minus I guess the current streak that we're on the larger time frame that kind of weeds some of that out, those would just be wicks. You can see the price is really kind of stabilized right around this level right here. Again, we're talking about 121.43 down to 13. Can we get out of that area? I don't know. I mean, there's buyers there, but really, I mean, at this point, it almost looks like we got rock in a hard place with here and here. And what data today is going to derail us from these two areas? We're sitting right in the middle, right? We're sitting right at the 50%. Yeah, there's sellers there, or buyers there, but not great ones. What takes us out of this channel today? I don't think much. Right? I really don't think much. If anything, I would like to see it start to kind of push back up again. I'd like to see dollar weakness rolling in for all of tomorrow's data, and then have it push here, right? I still think the Fed needs. My belief is I think they need to raise it tomorrow, right? The market is dead set that the Fed's absolutely not going to raise it because the could and would statement. But you got to think if there's, a lot of them were in agreement. A majority of the Fed presidents, voting members said that they expected one more raise this year. Okay. Do they do it this month? Do they skip this month, do it next month, and then we're good? Do they hold it to the end? It's kind of like sooner is better, right? Sooner is better. And again, consumer confidence is great. People are going to keep spending money. Right. So, I mean, I guess the only industry that's really kind of hurting is, home sales, right? Because mortgages are insane. But yeah, besides that, I mean, play this way, getting it down faster. The faster, the faster we can get it down, the faster we cut rates. So, yes, if we have to go up just a little bit to cut rates even faster, great. Is it worth holding rates where they are for an extra 5 months, 6 months? Probably not. So, yeah. But right now, again, a lot of it's going to depend on where we go. I think up is decent, down, and it's okay. It's been a lot of time here. This is all on Thursday. So Big ones here is going to be the side right now. Again, I think we probably chop back and forth. Maybe we come down and bounce one more time and come back up. But right now, are we in a buying area? No, this is a junk zone. I would not use that one. Pound yen looks just like the euro yen. Now, difference with the pound yen and the euro yen is we actually had a zone drawn here, right? We actually had a zone drawn here, and it hit that zone. And again, it's already triggered once, but I'll push it across so you guys can see. It just finished the second time as well. And that was a 17 for 52. So it's literally it was out at 10 o'clock. That's actually, I'm sorry, I lied. It was out at 9:30. The red candle did peek past it, right? You can see that the red did come past it, so it actually made it to there, right? You can see it right there. It came through. So again, this one's worked twice. This is not a new level. Oops. I was just trying to bring it back, not change where it was. There we go. Big strong move up, and again, this one also really big move. I mean, we're talking about 290 something pips from the big drop yesterday, and you can see it dropped into an area of buyers right here, and then slowly kind of pushed its way up. And we were looking for a pullback, and this one looks very similar. It came up, it punched through, and just kind of up down. It didn't really give us the base in the pullback that we wanted, and it just went. So yeah, again, disappointed. And here's the end. Right here, let's see. Right there is when the BOJ statement came out. So you can see the level of disappointment that the market had. Right? So this one, based off of that news, I can actually see this coming back up again. It's up at that 183. 184 is backstop on this one. 184 is sitting. Oh, I got so close. Right there. So again, is it as big as 185? Nah, but it's pretty large. Again, I think it probably bases up here. With as bad as the yen has been treated in the last 24 hours, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see something, maybe some type of statement, some big profit taking in there to kind of push this back lower. Again, at some point, I mean, they're mentioning that FX could be bad. At some point, again, this is just going to continue to get worse. Yeah, it's not in yet. The sell on this one is not in yet, but we are so high on the curve right now. Again, this zone is held twice now. It's been profitable twice. It should probably push through at this point to go higher to kind of give us a new turning point. It's not there yet. There's a number of reasons why it could up there. And again, if this one maintains high, the yen could potentially get some help tomorrow from all the news coming out, right? Being as a proxy of the Dow, it could get some movement tomorrow, right? If the Dow gets blown up, we could see some yen strength rolling back in. Okay. Dollar CAD. All right. So dollar CAD. Again, yesterday we were sitting. That's the Friday number. Hold on. Yesterday we were sitting kind of right here, and it stabilized. It kind of went up. It went down. It went up again. Went up again. And we're kind of sitting there right now. The question is, what happens? We talked about 138.65. We were unable to get to it. We're sitting there now, and it's struggling. Its pop has already come in at 8:30, and it's kind of like, oh, what do we do now? And you can see we're pushing back up in that 138.80 range. Again, keeping this one high. You know, Oil is up a smidge, but the reason oil is up a smidge now, it was actually down just a little tiny bit. It's up because consumer confidence is high, right? But that was kind of a news-based push, and it's kind of like, all right, well, you're getting some CAD strength rolling in because oil is getting higher, and again, a little dollar strength, but at the same time, it's remember, good is bad, bad is good, right? Yeah, technically, this should be awesome data, right? This should be awesome. The consumers, they're going to keep spending. This is great. But when you combine this number that everybody's happy about it, but employment costs are going higher and the composite HPI is also higher all at the same time, again, it kind of leads you over here and it says, oh God, why is the dollar going up, right? So again, here's your profit taking coming in. Not super surprised. I think it's just a pullback. People are like, yeah, it's too good of a data point. At this point, it's too good of a data point. Again, what does this do? Do we see a push all the way back down? We potentially could. Remember, we want weak dollar today in preparation for strong news tomorrow. It's really kind of what we're looking for. Um, uh, wait, what? Okay, sorry. I sent her a picture. So Kip this morning for breakfast. he was having an apple and I was having like a toast with peanut butter on it, and he wanted peanut butter on his stuff too. So he had half of an apple, but he would like take 2 bites and then want more peanut butter on it, and then eat the peanut butter off the apple. I know that's like a common treat for kids, but I've never seen him do it. But like 3 times, he's like, more, more, more. So I'm like, he must have had like 4 scoops of peanut butter on top of his tiny apple. And she's like messaging me back now. She's like, oh my God, really? Yeah, like 10 messages. So reversal point for the dollar right now. We're 10:15. This is a reversal time. This is when we typically tend to see it. We've had news punch it up that direction, so it kind of makes sense. It's not a bad level, and again, I think there's profit taking coming in. It is 15 pips, so it's a little bit deep for me right now. I'd like to see this push back down again. As far as levels go for tomorrow, where we take longs off of this, potentially here. Here's the problem with this one. Jolts is so important, right? This is like your early morning, like, how do we mess with the market early? But then the question is, yeah, but the Fed funds rate is going to be a bigger one. So it's like, man, why can't they just be all at the same time? Just give it to us all the time. But at like 8:15, it's like, oh, here's the first drop, then the next drop, right? This is like, let's throw a bunch of like duck feather, or duck down, something that's really, really flammable, right? And then let's throw some logs on top of it, and then let's go here, right? So the spacing of it kind of sucks because there's a lot of opportunities. I think there's one area to look at here. The 23, I'd be very, very cautious. If this is the top and we push back down, it is a base, but then there's 1, 2, and 3. And again, nothing in there. This is the best zone we have for news right now. All these down here are just kind of tests of the prior one. I don't love any of them. Ugh. God, I wish there was a better zone over there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking for right now. I think those are two potential areas. Is it 38? It is at 38, isn't it? That makes it fun too. 64 is kind of a big pull. 64 is kind of a big pull on this one, so maybe we get some help because of the pop. But 64, again, 64, it's not a full ATR, but it's pretty close. It's only got a 75 pip daily ATR. Again, the spike up helps, so we will see the retracement back again. Again, and this one, profit taking will occur right here. And it's got some to chop through, but I'm wondering, hmm, we may need some European help for this one tomorrow. It's there. It's not the worst one. Again, if we can take a bounce off the 138 tomorrow for this news, I think it's great. And we may need Jolt's data to drive it down into that level first. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe we hit here, we bounce back up again. European session drives us up. Jolts drives us down, and then we go back up again. So this maybe it's one of these. Comes over, right? 3 o'clock kicks in here. Maybe this drives up until 8:30. Jolts comes out, it goes down, and then we kind of push over, and then 4:30 happens here, and then we go right back up again. So like maybe that's what we look like on this one. It's gonna depend on the Europeans. Okay. All right, dollar Swiss. So again, dollar news. All the news was really, really great. Kind of hard to dispute this one. You can see yesterday got out at 11:30. It ended up going out. We talked about profit taking coming in, and you may have wanted to get out early on this one. If you didn't, you made it. Actually, would have made it twice. So you're good. So that one was out from yesterday, and this one had been here a few times. Didn't base before, but again, the news shot it through. So again, you wouldn't be looking for a direct reversal. There's a level a little bit higher. Question is, can we make it all the way up into that level? We can delete a lot of these. Actually, this one too. Price went above, so that 78 is done. We can take this. We can run this all the way up. Now we'll just run it to the zone. It's so close. I'll leave that one there. That one's fine. That's good. It is a shame we didn't even pause. So here's the thing. This is where the takeoff point of this was. But look at all this. Bing, 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 bing. We've hit that thing so many times. Third hit. The third hit. It's a decent movement. Decent movement off of that one. Actually, let's bring this down. Does that help us at all? No, it doesn't. 65. So it's over daily ATR since six o'clock this morning. So I mean, take it from the bottom. The bottom's 530. Not that that's a crazy trial or anything like that, but this green right here was the bottom. 65 pips, 58 pip daily ATR. We're kind of extended. We're beyond what we should do in a day, and it's done it in 5 hours. So we're probably due for a reversal. Needs 12 more. Trying to see if there's one more like something little. Oh, here's your new. Israel says no Hash's deal with Qatar mediation insight. There actually was something last night on the table, but Israel said we're not, there'll be no ceasefire. So that was kind of the deal was if there was a ceasefire that they would release all the hostages or all the civilian hostages, and Israel says no, we're not doing a ceasefire. So obviously that takes it all off the table, Um, yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Um, The other scary thing about this, I don't know if you guys saw it this morning. The U.S. reiterated. So we've talked about it before on the channel. Again, probably why I should get a little more pop from it. We talked about it before. All the weapons that have been given to the Ukraine are not allowed to be used offensively. So if they decide that, hey, listen, we've been kicking Russia's butt, we're going to roll into Russia, they're not allowed to use any of the weapons that we provided for them. Okay, it's in the provisions of us giving them weapons that they are only allowed to be used for defensive purposes. The United States reaffirmed this morning that Israel has no limitations. They can get as offensive as they want with the weapons that we give them. That's going to piss a lot of people off. A lot of people off. If you're defending yourself, it's one thing, but when you start using our weapons and going across other sovereign borders, yeah, a lot of people are going to take that as they can be as aggressive. Because then it becomes, well, we're going to protect ourselves from Israel, right? Because everything's done now in the name of defense, right? But everybody knows, offense is your best defense at this point, right? With a war, so it's going to get ugly before it gets better. 2, 3, pull that one off. All right, so 151.14. All right, again, here is the bottom from yesterday morning. No, here's where this thing took off. Nobody liked the statement. It looks exactly the same as the Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen. Anything you put against the yen, it's going to look exactly the same. Now we are high, 151. I don't even know. God, how far back do we need to go with this one? Last time we were back here was August of 1990. Okay, August of 1990. Where were you? August 7th, 1990. Right, August 7th, 1990. Right. I actually didn't even live in Maryland there. I still lived in New Jersey. I was entering my freshman year of high school, I think. Yeah, because I graduated in '94. So yeah, that would have been freshman year of high school. I was getting ready to start high school. That's the last time we were up here. So yeah, as far as do zones last forever? Yeah, I mean to some extent yes, but as times change, again, big levels yes, but something like a daily from 80 years ago. Again, a lot of the processes that you got to look at what was here at that time, right? A year ago, 2 years ago, again, electronic processes were in. Something like back to 1990, where there are electronic processes, yes, but it's almost kind of a different age, so I put less credence into it. So I'm not going to go back on a daily and say, okay, we got daily zones here. Really, what we're looking for on this one is where this top is going to come in. We don't have it. We don't see it. We could see it over here, and it provided a great trade, right? A red, green, red came back, confirmed it, and went all the way down. It was a real nice push. I mean, 177 pips. And then all of a sudden, the BOJ had to screw this one all up and make some statements and be like, yeah. And you got this big push down. And then they were like, just kidding. We're not going to do anything. And the market was like, oh my God, seriously? And they had to pay for it. But we are up at 151 right now. Okay. We know what happened when, these things, the BOJ intervenes. It's just going to get worse, right? Imagine trying to be a Japanese citizen or a Japanese company trying to get imported goods from other countries. How expensive is it to get goods from other countries, right? Um, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, until this one puts a top in, we're not trading this one. Again, could you trade it for news based off of what you see an hour and a half beforehand? Sure, absolutely, but just use some caution. Again, extremely risky. Again, dollar yen is the gauge they're looking for intervening in the FX market. And they even said the FX market may cause us to change our policy because it's getting so bad, right? A weekend is great because people buy from you, um, but at the same time, for you to get stuff, it's kind of hard, really, really hard. Um, yeah, yeah. And I know, there was actually an article this morning. China has an import ban on all Japanese seafood right now. I think it's all. Anyway, basically, it's part of their like economic warfare against Japan right now, is what they're calling it. Um, I guess the Fuja, whatever the nuclear power plant, they're letting all the water out. Supposedly, the water is considered safe, but they're letting the water from the nuclear disaster there back into the ocean. And China's like, well, we're not taking fish from your nation if you're letting all this, radioactive water. And it's supposedly treated, so supposedly it's safe. So the U.S. government has stepped in and said, okay, we'll buy it for our military. So our military soldiers, we'll feed them the water, we'll feed them the seafood, but they can only like buy like 1/10 of what China was actually purchasing. But I was like, hey, you know what? China's like, nah, we're not taking the clean, irradiated water. But the U.S. government's like, we'll take it. We'll feed it to our soldiers, no problem. So, yeah. Um, so be cautious with this one. Again, it's a kind of a geopolitical based pair. Crude, with everything going on, again, we were holding firm at the 83 mark, or 93. Again, yesterday we saw a big spike down again with consumer confidence. We saw it spike back up again. Again, I still think right now this one is very dangerous. It is very geopolitical. We haven't seen sanctions. We're not taking your oil. Your oil is good. Yours is bad. Yours is ugly. Again, thank God Israel is not an oil producing nation. But I'll tell you right now, it's going to get uglier before it gets better. I know one of the Hamas generals. I also saw it this morning. He was assassinated in his home. Him and his family. I think they blew it up or whatever. But yes, he was in his home with him. So him and his entire family were blown up. His daughter, sons, and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's killed to get this general. So now that it's gone to the assassination level, where we're going after specific people and just not military targets. I mean, it's like, yeah, you took one general out, but you took his wife and all his kids and other people there. Um, I feel like I don't know. I feel like in a belief system where it's an eye for an eye, I feel like it's going to get nasty. So crude, be very very cautious. Honestly, I think at this 83 mark, I do kind of think this is almost the bottom. I think we're going to have a much harder chance going through this 80 level, even lower than that right now. I think if anything, we pull back up into the 85 range. That feels like more of the meeting level, particularly with consumer confidence. People feel good. People spend money, especially on gas. Jobs data tomorrow. Jobs data comes in strong. Again, that's more people working. That puts more pressure, and more demand on oil. This goes back up. So for me right now, again, not necessarily a buy because I don't have a good zone to draw it off of. I can't draw a good risk level. But I feel that this one has the ability to go higher. I think 85 is probably where we're looking for. Natural gas, again, spiking because obviously cold. If I'm getting a freeze warning, it was literally 77 degrees, I think. I think was the high that we hit on Friday. And now we're looking at a freeze warning tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah. So probably a temporary sell up here. Again, I don't remember. These were from old levels. I'm not sure why they were up here, but I think right now the big thing we'd be looking for is kind of this piece up here. Again, there was a little bit of a push. It kind of came back and then was kind of the peak. I think this is an area where we really start looking for selling that 360 mark. And again, everybody's hearing about the cold now, right? Yeah, rising heat demands, right? Jumps 4% on colder forecast. It was funny because last week we saw this collapse because they were talking about more mild temperatures this fall. And now, 2 days later, magically, it's like, oh, we're jumping 4% because, man, it's going to be cold, right? So I think 360, look for it today. It's factoring in all this news today. Tomorrow, once it factors out and it says, oh, but you know what? Next week, it's going to be warm again. We should see a push back down. Talked about gold already. Again, popping back and forth. Gold came up and it looks like it just hit that 205 that we drew yesterday. Again, I think this one holds and maintains up here between this 205 and probably 1992. Overall, I do think I think the two outcomes of the news tomorrow are down, unless there's a really, really weird statement. I think gold is short tomorrow, one way or the other, even with the JOLTS data, regardless of what it is. Why? Because if they don't need to raise it, it means what they have is working. Inflation is being killed, right? If they do raise it, obviously that's going to, be even more, neck on the throat of inflation. That drives it back down again. Could Powell basically say, I think we're done. We don't need any more. with all the data we have going on, I think if he says that, if like the JOLTS data comes in as expected, the employment data comes in as expected, everything comes in as expected with all the other data we've seen, and if and Pal's like, no, we're probably at the peak, we're probably good. Maybe we'll start cutting soon. I think gold, I think 2050 is going to get smoked tomorrow if he says that at 2 o'clock tomorrow, 2:30. Um, I would want to know what's in his coffee if that's the case. But right now, I would say let's look for more of a short. We'll see in the European session what it looks like. Silver looks exactly the same. Again, using 23. That was the bottom this morning, and it's going up. And look at this. Look at all these sellers in here and the little confirmation sitting right there. And that's what we're running into. So we've spiked up. And again, why is it spiking up? Well, if the market's convinced they're not raising, but people are spending a lot more money than what they thought. They're a lot more confident. Again, that leads to more. Um, yeah, yeah, I think overall, again, silver is also a short. Of the two. Again, with gold being more green right now, we'll see how it ends out for the day. But I like silver as a short more than anything. Let's see, VIX. You can see jumped up, dropping a little bit. Dollar, again, profit taking coming in. Again, this is a big surge. The 830 surge up was a good one. That was a real nice push, and you can see it's fighting back and forth again. And again, we need dollar weakness today for our trades tomorrow. So again, not again parabolic move, finding sellers coming back down again. ES again, basically flat, 0.03. This was again, they're all basically flat. Russell's the one that's the not. Let's see what we got here. 845, 930 was kind of coming down, and it grabbed the level. And could you have said, hey, listen, there's a little level right there with a confirmation. It was a 4 o'clock. I mean, this is 2, 4. Yeah, you could have said there's something there. 945 is when it hit it and kind of pushed back up again. The only problem I would have had with this one is obviously you expect sellers to come in right there. And you can see that's what happened. They're literally playing with those sellers, right? I'll make this bigger so you can see it a little better. That's where you would expect to see selling to come in. You can see we hit it and we kind of went higher, but that's where the sellers are. So is there a 1 to 3 there? No, there is the confirmation. It did come down and grab it. It did accelerate off to the top side, but we got a kind of a peak on the top. And you may say, well, why isn't it doing more? It should be going high. Part of the problem is good is bad right now, right? Overall, for companies, it's great that the consumer is good, but combined with the other data, it also means the Fed has more ammunition to raise it, and that's not what the market overall wants. So I think people are really confused today. If we get somewhat of an inside day, I would not be surprised whatsoever. Just because, again, what is the Fed going to do? It's good news, but is it too good? Right? Is the big question. NQ. What do you got here? This one had similar spike. Again, the 930s went all the way down. People were like, oh, God. And then it went right back up again. We're more or less flat. We're down a little tiny bit today. Yeah, and the problem with this one is that, and again, seeing this 10 o'clock candle going up, that's the 100%. That's the right reaction. People, the market should be excited, right? Good consumer means good retail sales, means companies are making money. So overall, that's good. But again, whoops. I just want to extend it. There's your peak. There's your bottom. And again, it's kind of the bottom from yesterday, right? Same thing. Rocking a hard place. Going right down to 50. YM. Let's see. We got YM wise. 915. 930 was here. We pushed down. There was no confirmed level here. Not even close. It came up and grabbed the old level we drew from yesterday. So, yeah. Let's see. It's too much wick. I'll draw it, but it's too much wick. I don't like taking just the wicks. Honestly, YM. 1, 2, 3. YM looks like it has the most room to run without any great zones on the other side. I mean, it's not the weakest right now, but if everything turns negative real fast, I think this gets ahead of NQ. Based off of this, there's not as many. See, NQ at least has a level here, and obviously can pull back down, but it's at least got a level that it's been smashing into. This doesn't really have it. All right, we can run all the way down to here before we have any type of real confirmation. Maybe there's a little bit in here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we look right. Probably there. It's an okay level. It's an okay level, guys, as far as profit taking goes. But overall, to me, chart wise, ES just rolled negative as well. This one looks like it's the most negative. And again, oh, here you go. Expensive childcare emerging as another threat to the U.S. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me. I've looked multiple times for Kip, and I'm like, I'll just keep doing it for another year. He's got to be 3 before we can send him to Jin's preschool. But when you look at childcare, it's like, how much is it? Like, man, I should watch other people's kids. Russell, same thing. Look at all this. All back and forth, no confirmed zones in the overnight. Goes all the way down to here, went back up again, still locked in. That 167 sitting right there. I'll remove this one now. Let's take this. let's box this one off as well. And again, we're sitting at the 50 mark between confirmed buyers and sellers. So yeah, overall, I kind of, seeing this go down today, being a little bit more on the red side, kind of makes sense. I honestly, I do think that that is the right call. I was kind of hoping that would be like a huge green day. We'd surge, be like, this is awesome because the Fed's going to do nothing. And then Powell comes in with kind of a smack to the face. Kind of what I was looking for. I think there's a great trading opportunity in that smack in the face, but I feel like the market is, unfortunately, I think the market is caught on to Powell. So I don't think he'll be able to provide too many surprises. But I think that would be the right call for Powell tomorrow. Give us that 25 and then be like, hey, here's a 0.25 raise, but this is it. We are done. A majority believe that this is the done. We don't need any more. All right. And honestly, for Powell, that's a great statement, right? Because he loves fair balance. He literally wants to provide no true bias one way or the other. That's just the way that the game he plays, right? We're gonna raise it, but a majority of board believe that this is it. But it's not news. That's exactly what they said last time. We think we need one more, and then next year we'll at the end of next year we'll start cutting. That's not news, right? It's not news, but it is certainty. So yeah, that's what it is. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. Remember, it is 50 pip chips again because I missed 2 days last week. Big E won yesterday, so Big E is going for, he won 50. Yeah. Oh no, he's going for number 3. This is number 3 because yesterday was his double day because he won last Wednesday. So he's going for 3. Everybody else is going for 1, but it is 50, so it is not, again, more chances. That's not our standard 25. I will give this I'll give you 30 seconds. I always like to make sure I do a good 30 seconds for music on that one. We'll take it right to the 3 mark. Come on, 10 more seconds. I can't believe this month is over. I can't believe it's the 31st already. I have 2 more. Oh, I got so much to do. All right, there we go. Let's see. Winner of today's drawing is. All right, we'll just drop the microphone right now. It was Will. It was Will. Yeah, I know, Ernest. Ernest, I don't know what you did, my friend. You used to be crushing those threes, and this is like I think this is the 3rd. Maybe this is 3 out of 4. Maybe this is 3 out of 4 number 3s that you've been stopped, and it's been by 1. I think Will stopped you, I think, twice now. I know Debbie hit you at least once, if not twice, and I know Morena hit you once too. So I feel like number 3 for you is like you got bad juju at number 3. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Yeah. So all right, we'll give this one to Will. So Will gets in there, he gets his 50 points. And yeah. Woof. Man, Ernest, I'm getting you a t-shirt. That, man, I'm telling you, that I think that's the 4th one you've been stopped on number 3 by a single ticket. So yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, with that, look, you can see the yen accelerating from this a bit, right? A little bit more, right? 240, 187. So, all right, with that, a lot of news tomorrow. Again, be very, very cautious tomorrow morning. It's going to be crazy. 8:15 followed up by that 10. I don't think the Swiss was going to really do much. But jolts, I think, again, the non-farm number is going to be important, but the jolts data, I think, is the most important one. Again, we'll see what Powell does tomorrow. I think it's going to be crazy. So, all right, good trading today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Be ready. Have your coffee ready to go tomorrow because there's going to be some fireworks, I'm sure. With that, I'm out of here. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.